Thanks, guys, for tuning into my channel. And today I'm going to talk about lunar astrology, which is actually going to be the phasal relationships between two planets. And the planetary pair I'm going to use in this video, and probably for the whole, I'm going to do a video for each phase, and there are 8 phases. And so I'm going to use Mars and Venus planetary pair as an example for how these phasal relationships really work. And right now, where I am in time of day and year is there's Venus is retrograde, and also there's a new moon in Libra. So I figured, okay, why not talk about this phasal relationship between planetary pairs? Everyone has love on the mind and Venus stuff going on, and it's really hard to ignore, what energy is out there, because it's affecting our relationships, right? We're a little bit more vulnerable because our triggers are being pulled to the top, or surfacing to the top, in order for us to release it. And so what I mean by these phasal relationships is that there is these, if you think about even aspects, so the new moon, right? The new moon is really the conjunct aspect. It's like where, if you think about the sun and the moon are at the same degree. So then it's actually dark, but then it starts, once it starts moving along, it becomes new. So then on the flip side, when you come all the way back, and this new moon actually is when the faster moving planet is separating from the slower moving planet. And so when it comes all the way around and it's approaching, and it's conjunct pretty much at the same degree, but right behind, that's a balsamic. But we'll get into that. Today we're just going to be talking about the new moon phasal relationship between two planetary pairs. And so I'm going to use Venus. Like I said, Venus is retrograde right now, and we're all in this place in our life where we're figuring out our values and desires. And for some of it's easy. For others, it's not, because, you might be in a relationship and everything's fine, and then you had some suppressed energy that you may or may have not been aware of, some repressed emotions with that partner, and now they're surfacing, and it's like, it's like a test of all relationships, right? And most importantly, a test of your own relationship. And so Venus is a representation of, it's the energy of our values and desires. And then you have the inner aspect of Venus, which is Taurus. So how do I feel self-reliant? What do I need to make me feel safe and secure? And then you have the outer aspect of Venus, which is Libra, which is taking those values and bringing that into your partnerships, and being able to communicate what it is you want, and also being able to listen to your partner, because that's a big thing with Libra, is like the psychology of listening, right? And so with the Mars being the planetary pair of Venus, Mars is taking those desires and those values and those needs and actualizing those. How can I create from these values and desires? And so Mars and Venus, Mars is the slower planet as far as orbit. Venus is the faster planet. So Venus is going to be, we're going to use this planetary pair as an example. So you'll see how Venus, it plays this role, this dynamic with Mars. And so you can look at this aspect to any like conjunct aspect separating in your chart. It could go for any planetary pair. It can go for the sun and the moon, Saturn and Venus or whatever, but all the planets, and I'll get into the technicalities at some point, but I just want to share this with you guys. And so the new moon in evolutionary astrology is instinctual emergence. So this is that beginning of the new cycle. It's also yang energy. So that means that it's very extrovert. It's going to project this energy. And this is a period where we're starting a brand new evolutionary intention in order to initiate new relationship between any two planets. So here we're initiating new relationship between Venus and Mars. We're starting a new cycle of values and desires, and how do we actualize those, right? And so with this new aspect, there's a need for, a diversity of experience, because how can we really ground in this energy if we're not sure what we want? And, we have to learn about the world around us in order to really begin to understand. It's like, oh, okay, you have to have these experiences of ups and downs, you know, like the cycle of life pretty much. And one thing about the new moon phase, it's really analogous to, hopefully I said that right, but it's the same basically as Aries energy. So Aries is initiating a cycle. It's initiating energy. It's masculine, so there is that projection, and also it's let's see, masculine, and it's active, but that's masculine. Anywho, so with Aries, you have this instinctual action, right? This instinct, like your rising sign is just what you do. Like you do this. This is your instinctual habits and patterns. And so that's how it is with this new moon phase. If two planets are conjunct, and the one faster planet is separating from the slower planet, then it's in a new moon phasal relationship. And this is going to be between 0 and 45 degrees. And so, like I said, there's this need to experience different things. And if we're talking about Mars and Venus, this is going to be starting a brand new evolutionary cycle relative to relationship dynamics. And so, you know, if this person, if they're in their chart or in your chart, there's Mars and Venus conjunct where Venus is separating from Mars, there's going to be, you know, you might be someone who does need to be in a lot of relationships, or need to just like hook up with people, or just need to experience things, you know, just keep it moving, you know, because you're here to learn what it is you actually want within your relationship. And in order to do that, you have to experience something. So this diversity experience will begin manifesting into new intentions. And then so you have this action and reaction as well, which is kind of similar things from these diverse experiences. You're going to be doing things, and then the outer world is going to react to that. And so you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. Or maybe this person, you know, like I did this one thing and this person walked all over me. So it's like figuring that out. But the whole point of this new moon phase relationship is you're in this period, you are breaking free from the past and like what came before. And so if you think about the Mars and Venus relationship, you have Venus separating from Mars, starting a new evolutionary cycle in relative to relationship dynamics. So starting a new cycle of learning what your values and desires are. And it's a new cycle. And so when you think about Pisces, the sign before, I like this concept of Pisces, the precipice of Pisces, because it's, you know, you're standing on this precipice. You're in the 12th sign. You're in the 12th house. You've done the whole evolutionary cycle. Your Venus has gone through each sign and like experienced all these different things. And you're just like, all right, I learned this thing. I figured this out. And behind you, you know, is that comfort zone. It's like, do I want to stay and just be chill and like do my thing and be basic, or do I want to look ahead and trust and just jump into the abyss, right? And so with that, once you make that leap into faith, or that leap of faith, there we go. You know, you start this new cycle, which is this new instinctual emergence, which is this Aryan energy. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I feel that where we are as far as the cosmic climate at this time, we are all at this precipice. I feel like some of us have not made that leap, and some of us have, you know. And so we're at this point where we're starting this new, you know, cycle of relationship dynamics and figuring out what we actually really, really need. And, you know, individually, we're all in our different phases of where we are in learning about relationships and ourselves, the relation between the two. And so I think that really, you know, things are moving. We're all going to take that leap of faith. And a lot of us are being pushed off the cliff, because I was definitely pushed off the cliff. I didn't really need any help, but they were just like, no, you got to go. So anyways, I wanted to share this with you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed. Love you as always. Follow me on Instagram, and check out my website, uraniauniverse.com. Love you guys.